The brand redefined fast food with fresh ingredients that customers could see. Compared to other fast food chains at the time, it felt healthy. And it worked.
In the late 70s and in the 80s and in the 90s, everyone knew about Subway. I mean, they were everywhere. They're still everywhere.
By 1981, there were 200 locations across the U.S. And soon after, Subway went international.
The format is pretty simple. You buy a franchise, you get trained, they help you secure a location, they help with a grand opening, and you're open. You're open for business.
Think your sandwich is shrinking because the worker is stingy? You're looking at the wrong culprit. Subway cut portions, kept prices, and told staff to enforce the diet version of your usual order. Here's the kicker. Those same workers are taking home around $1,000 a month after taxes in some places, with no real benefits, while absorbing your anger. In 60 seconds, I'll show you how corporate rules turn the person behind the glass into the villain, why that burnout is driving them out, and how it's quietly draining the value of what you pay for. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. Costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now back to the video. Let's start with the paycheck you don't see. A full-time sandwich artist clocks 40 hours and takes home around $1,000 a month in some places. Rent eats half or more. Groceries take another slice. Add gas or a bus pass, and the wallet is empty by week 3. Meanwhile, your ticket rings up $9 for a sub, drink, and maybe a cookie. The math is lopsided before the bread is sliced. Now the real kicker. Corporate trims portions and keeps the price steady. Workers get portion charts with grams for meat and cheese like a speed limit. Go over, get written up. Scales come out. Sauce lines are counted. Tips. Limited or not allowed. Sick day? Unpaid, so people show up sick or lose rent money. That light sub isn't an accident.
With more than 42,000 restaurants in over 100 countries, Subway has the most locations of any fast food chain on the planet. And at first, that sounds like a sign of a thriving subgiant.
And still is today about Subway is really an open kitchen format. In many ways, they really pioneered that and the ability to customize your sandwich.
Subway's famous giant foot-long sandwiches are made right before your eyes, the way you want them.
Subway's closed thousands of stores in the last 3 years and saw a 25% fall in business from 2012 to 2017.
It's policy. On the floor, one person does 4 jobs for 1 wage. They run the register, build sandwiches, restock the line, and scrub the T-nozzles. It's like being the cashier, the cook, the stock clerk, and the janitor all at once. When you see a thin crew, it's not a fluke. It's the schedule. Take a lunch rush. 2 workers on. 10 orders deep. A customer wants a little more turkey. The rule says charge or face a write-up. The line stares. The manager is watching counts and labor minutes. The worker is deciding between conflict now or fewer hours next week. There's another squeeze you don't see. Stores in some areas shut down with little warning. Hours vanish overnight. No severance. Final checks show up late. That risk hangs over every shift like a storm cloud. So yes, your sub got smaller. The person making it got smaller margins on life too. Both come from the same cost-cutting playbook. The stingy portion is a metric, not a mood. The worker's choice is simple. Follow the chart or pay for it later. Now let's move on to how that squeeze turns the counter into a conflict zone, and why staff walk out. If your usual sub feels like a diet version, that is not bad service. That is the script. The portion chart got a rewrite. What used to count as regular meat, cheese, veg, and sauce is now trimmed. Add still smile. The line does not. Here is how the clash starts. You expect the old loadout. The worker is graded on grams, lines, and scoops.
Not only were Subway franchises successful, they were, and still are, one of the cheapest chains to franchise. It costs between $116,000 and $263,000 to open a Subway franchise.
their biggest successes for sure was the Jared Fogle story. Everyone remembers those ads where it's him in those huge pants where he's showing how he lost all of this weight. And that just made them so much money, and it really made people think about Subway.
Subway's success continued into the early 2000s. At a time when obesity was rising rapidly in America, Subway continued to market itself as a healthy alternative to fast food.
It was one of the biggest advertising wins that any chain's had in recent decades.
Go over without charging and face a write-up. Say yes and you risk fewer hours. Say no and you wear the complaint. The rule wins either way. Now drop into a real moment. You ask for a little more turkey. The worker does math in seconds. Do I add it and get dinged? Do I say no and hold the line while the queue glares? Is the manager near the walk-in counting sleeves or near the office counting minutes? One tiny choice, 3 bad options. Understaffing is the fuel. One person is cashier, prep, runner, and cleaner. Breaks vanish because the line never stops. Errors climb, tempers rise. That snap at the counter is usually a shift with no air, no pause, and a clock that will not quit.
Behind the scenes, many of the reasons for Subway's success had turned on them. Starting in 2014, Subway sales began steadily dropping. And fast casual chains like Panera were offering seemingly fresher and healthier options. On top of that, fast food chains that had been around as long as Subway were coming up with healthy alternatives of their own.
Fewer people are opting to eat fresh these days. The restaurant chain Subway continues to see declining sales.
Online, the story flips. Clips tag staff as rude or cheap. The truth is the policy puts them in the crosshairs. And yes, some managers dodge the peak or play favorites with shifts. That leaves thin crews to eat the busiest hours and the blame. There is a safety tab, too. Rushed resets mean wilted veg live next to new bins. Tongs drift. Gloves jump stations. Cross-contamination risk goes up. Bad for you. Worse for them when the complaint lands. When every shift is a chorus of no, that costs extra. Burnout is not a mystery. Fewer hands. Tighter portions. Hotter tempers. People leave. Your value drops again because the next new hire restarts the cycle at the slowest speed. So what is the move if you want your money's worth and fewer blowups at the counter? The truth is the smaller sandwich and the empty schedule share the same blade. Cost cuts that turn policy into conflict and shove workers out. Your order becomes an argument. Their shift becomes roulette. If this gave you something to chew on, hit like, subscribe, and share. Vote with your wallet. Ask about portions up front, tip when allowed, and support spots that post fair pay and clear portion info. That pressure moves the needle faster than complaints at the counter. We're tracking which chains are quietly shrinking servings next. Subscribe so you know where your dollar still buys a full lunch before the roll gets thinner.